Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Generation Millennium. I'm your visually impaired host, Jeffro of Madness, and we are back. I believe this is episode 8 for my Let's Go. For my Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl playthrough. And when we last left off, we managed to make it to the Pokemon League. Well, not to the Pokemon League specifically, but to Victory Road. And there we go, finally found the right pocket. And now let's enter Victory Road proper. And now it's just time for a complete snooze fest because out of all the Elite Fours and all the Pokemon games, I despise this one the most. Like, it's not that this Victory Road is like complicated, but it's definitely like one of the most tedious ones, in my opinion. Because you need like Rock Climb, you need Rock Smash, you need Strength, you need Surf, Waterfall, you need so many HMs to get through this blasted place. And if you don't have any of them in the original Diamond and Pearl, you're essentially screwed. And this first room always kind of throws me for a loop. You'd think I have this memorized, considering I've been through this maybe a dozen times now over the past year or so, because I recently been running through the game multiple times on my BDSP Switch Lite, because I was trying to get to the post game as quickly as possible on all the save files so I could check on the number of swarm Pokemon in the post game. Oh, good thing, I think I just messed up. Did not mean to jump over that ledge. And now I think there's a mandatory train I think I have to fight here. Yep, there they are. Although I think there was a team I could have picked up there, but I'm going to ignore that. Haunter, if I'm probably going to sucker punch me. Or maybe not. Oh, I'm pretty sure someone around here has a Blissey. That's probably going to survive my attack. Oh, you have a Gengar. I know Shadow Ball's like a ghost type move and they meant to make it look all ominous and spooky, but I really wish they would speed up the animation. From a Gengar to an Alakazam, huh? Thankfully, none of these guys have the pressure ability, otherwise I'd be wasting so many power points here. But there's one thing about the classic games I don't miss is those stupid ledges that you can jump over by accident. Although if I'm not mistaken, I think there's like a rock climb wall around here somewhere. Oop, I think that's it. Yep. Oop, yeah. Run over here, or up to here, and then yep, there we go. Climb back down. So essentially what I'm looking for is a staircase that leads to the, well, not a staircase, but like a door that leads to the next room on the left wall. And I'm sorry for being quiet, as I'm hyper focusing on listening. Lots of trainers in Victory Road, a lot of them with fully evolved Pokemon that you probably don't have registered in your Pokedex for one reason or another, although Goldex is probably one you probably do have. But you're bound to find lots of trainers with Pokemon like, say, the fully evolved starter Pokemon, Empoleon, Torterra, Infernape, because the whole scene decks for the Sinnoh decks, in which you just have to see the Pokemon in order to get the national decks going. So essentially I'll just... Oh, there's the Blissey I was worried about. Now watch this. Stab Psychic, Modest Nature, Max IVs, EVs. It is probably not going to KO. Yep, survived. What the heck move was that? And what level are you? Like 48 or something? That just goes to show you how much HP and special defense Blissey can have. But that should be the only damage I should take throughout this entire experience. There we go. Now this room is one that I really despise. And let's see. Oh great, now I have to do some boulder puzzles. Okay, good. I'm making progress. As much as I wish I could skip most of these guys, unfortunately I don't think a lot of them are skippable. And if they are skippable, I guess you make that the comment question for this video. Which of these trainers were actually skippable? And the funny thing about seeing this Rapidash here, besides the Infernape line, I think it's like the only fire type in the OG Sinnoh decks. Carnivine. And this guy's only seeable in the Great Marsh if you never go there. He's a rare spawn. And for those of you who know about my Beast Ball obsession, last I checked, Carnivine has not been Beast Ballable in any game because it hasn't appeared in any mainline games. And who just came out? Oh, Rampartus. Guess I'll switch to Energy Ball for you. Let's see here. Move my way around. Then I smash this rock. And unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, that this trainer is also unavoidable. I think I tried walking around him before, but unfortunately he's just in your line of sight and you just can't skip him. Clefable, another Bulkymon. The interesting thing to note here is if you did mining in the Grand Underground, Sunstones are more common in Brilliant Diamond, whereas Moonstones are more common in Shining Pearl. Not that that's saying much still, considering like you can find wild Clefairies and whatnot, and then if you use like the Compound Eye, Super Luck abilities, you can make the chance of them holding a Moonstone more likely, and then you can use Move Thief to just get those Moonstones off of them. So Moonstones, you can either find them on the ground or you can just dig them up. I mean, yeah, you can go on the ground, dig them up, and then, or your other option is just to find off a wild Clefairy. So they're not exactly rare. Then I have to make my way up here. A lot of these, I really no idea if all these trainers are skippable or not, but at least they know I'm making progress. Is that a Star Raptor right here? And with Intimidate, of course. I still remember when the original Diamond Pearl was out, and then like my Star Ravier evolved to Star Raptor and it learned close combat. I was like, what in the world? A flying type with a fighting move? What is this? Get my hip out on. I wouldn't have to worry about Sandstorm damage if I had Magic Art ability, but like I said, throughout the main story, I'm just more worried about getting faked down, wasting time. Then we run all the way over here. There should be a rock climb something around here. Yep, there we go. I hate how we have to keep seeing this animation each time we exit a room. Like, why can't it just be as long as we stay inside the Victory Road today? We never have to repeat this animation. I think this guy's also non-skippable unless he's a spinner. And only one Mon. What do you have? Is that a Machamp? Come to think of it, in the Sinnoh decks, a lot of the Kanto Pokemon are here, like the trade ones, like Gengar line, Golem line, Machamp line, and Alakazam line. All 4 Kanto trade mons are here. Like, wow, that already wakes up like 12 dex entries right there. That they could have used for something else. Anyways, time to surf. And here's another unskippable trainer, as far as I'm aware. Because you have to come this way. And I believe there are 2 water types. Oh, never mind. This person has Chingling and Chimecho, I believe. Which, in terms of the base Sinnoh decks, I think Chingling is probably like one of the rarest Pokemon to encounter, along with its evolution Chimecho. And not to mention, it's also one of the more obscure ones to evolve. Chingling requires friendship at nighttime, I believe, to evolve. Which, if you catch the Chingling like a luxury ball and you give it a Soothe Bell, level up a few times after walking around, it should evolve pretty easily once you're at nighttime. All the problem is to be in the nighttime time zone, and I forget what time is in this game for nights. It's like after 8 p.m. I think. And here's the waterfall section I mentioned earlier. Yeah. And then another possibly unskippable trainer. Victor Red has all these trainers I don't think are skippable, which is rather irritating. But I'm making pretty good progress in Victor Road. I thought it would take me a bit longer than this. Despite my first mistake earlier, that made me waste maybe a minute or 3. But we're pretty much almost through Victory Road, and it hasn't been even half an hour yet, although it's been about 15 minutes or so, so still taking me a bit of time, but I think I should be able to get through here and do the Elite Four with time to spare. And then I want to be careful about moving here because there's a jump ledge here, I believe. There we go. And this is the final area. And this is the one section I keep forgetting of where I need to go. And actually, I'm going to save my game here in case I make a mistake, because there's a jump ledge in this particular room. If I go over it, then I go pretty much back to the beginning of the Victory Road, and that's going to suck. I normally don't like saving my game when I'm recording episodes, but in this case, I'll have to make an exception. Ah, dang it. Don't know if they're a spinner or not. Oh, come on, 3 mons. Tentacruel. Still not sure why they decided to give Tentacool of all lines a regional convergent form in the form of Toad Skull and Paldea. I suppose it's unique enough. Let's see, who just came in? I think this is Golem. And this is the last of the trade evolutions I was referring to earlier. We saw Gengar and Alakazam with that one trainer, that one guy who had the Machamp, and now we have the Golem. Of course he had Sturdy and survived, why not? I really despise all these sturdy mons, just make me waste my time in PowerPoints. What do you want to learn at this point? Drill Peck. Is that what it said? No thank you. Oh hey, Empoleon, speaking of the devil. I was just talking about you earlier. I think we saw someone with Otera, we saw Empoleon here, and then one member's Elite Four will have Infernape, so I think that covers the entire line of final stage starters. And this guy should be second to last trainer in Victory Road, I think, if I do things right. Let's see, I think there should be a rock climb wall around here somewhere. Oop, I think that's it. And then one more train should be up here. There they are. I think they have like 2 good bites on the guard chop or something. Or maybe a Gibble, good bites and guard chomp. No, you probably didn't mention it earlier, but on that one route south of Eterna City where the bike path was, you can actually use cut to get to a section underneath the bike path, and you can enter a secret section of the cave known as Wayward Cave. But in order to enter that secret area, you need strength, so you have to wait until you get the 6th badge, because you need the badge from Kennelly City to use strength outside of battle. And then if you go to the basement area, that secret cave area, you can find Gibble down there. Kinda sucks you have to wait until badge 6 to get that though. Wish you can get it earlier. It's a bit of an obscure area that people probably wouldn't know about unless they were really exploring, or if they just knew about it. And this is the end of Victory Road. Hooray! We made it to the real Pokemon League now. No, I don't need to use my repel again. Although I swear, if I get an encounter here. And one last dramatic waterfall to enter this place. And there is the Pokemon League building, and one little dramatic cutscene as we enter this big place. And now that we're here, let's do a heal to heal up any the damage from the Blissey and Golem we took, not to mention restoring our power points. But before we fight the Elite Four, our rival interrupts us again. Because, of course, it's always traditional that you, with the exception, well, technically Kanto, on the way to the Indigo Plateau, the rival stops you for a battle there. When you reach the end of Victory Road, in Johto, your rival stops you there. In Hoenn, they fight you at the end of Victory Road, although in Pokemon Emerald, he actually fights you at the beginning of Victory Road. And in here, he waits to battle you at the Pokemon League, and I don't understand why they gave Sir Raptor. Like, what's the point of giving him a focus sash there, besides the fact he decided to use your U-turn strategy? Like, what's the point of this? Although I suppose this could have been like the precursor to the U-turn / parting shot intimidate strategy that would be used in VGC later on, but to see it here is just so unnecessary. Yeah, Snorlax, I wonder if you're bulky enough to survive this. You're not a Blissey, but you're still pretty bulky. Whew, okay, good, you didn't survive. And there's the Raptor again. Gonna try using Intimidate again, but it's gonna fail. Goodbye, and then I think his starter may be coming out last. I forgot, what does he have? Torterra? Oh, you have Heracross too, I forgot about that. Still finding impressive that he found one like the second to last rarest Pokemon from the honey trees. Actually, no, he got all the rare Pokemon from the honey trees. He got both Munchlax and the Heracross. Which is pretty messed up, that fact that he got like essentially the two rarest Pokemon from honey trees, both Heracross and a Munchlax. Like, although the fact that he decided to keep Munchlax on the team over Apom, I can understand that much because Apom, I have nothing against it, but if I had to choose between Apom and Snorlax, I would definitely choose Snorlax. And because of that blasted U-turn and waste of power points, I need to heal one last time. And I made it here within 24 minutes, so we have plenty of time. So it's off to the final battle with us. Although, let me check my inventory actually really quick. Let's see here. Max Repel. I'm pretty sure I got my X items, but what about healing items? Let's see. I got max potions. And that's all I should really need. Alright, where is that guy? There's usually like a guy in the middle of the area who like checks your badges. Unless I have to talk to them? That was like automatic when you like approach them. They like check your badges. They should be around here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Yeah, to talk to them. I don't know why they make a victory sound as if you did something amazing, considering, I mean, you need all the 8 badges to use all the HM moves, so like it's not that impressive that we made it here. Oh, remember those elevators from the home gym? Yeah, they're back. Just no puzzle this time. And for our first challenge, we have Aaron of the Elite Four, the bug type user. And honestly, probably the most underwhelming of the 4 members of the 4. Because trust me, if you can't take down Aaron, then you have no chance of taking down any members of the 4. And it's actually during these battles, I'm actually going to do something rather controversial that I don't usually do. I am going to be using some of these X special attacks that I bought earlier on in the story, if you remember. And the main reason why I'm using these is because as much as because he just used like a screen move there, I need to boost my offensive capabilities because of that. Beautiflies next. Although I have, since I'm level 100 and I have a boosted special attack to be the X special attack, I should be one-shotting everything now. The light screen be damned. All the investment's gonna make me waste some power points here, which is annoying. Well, the main reason why I'm being so overly cautious like this is because of the fact, for some bizarre and, in my opinion, stupid reason, ILCA, the developers who made BDSP, decided to just all of a sudden make the Elite Four a lot harder than the original. Like, the game was faithful in terms of the story up until now, but then when you get to Elite Four, all of a sudden, like, their levels are still the same, but they decided to give these guys all max IVs, EVs, competitive natures, held items. Did I mention the natures as well? It's just a big mess. So for Aaron, it's not that difficult, but for everyone else on the other hand, it can become quite the nightmare. And like, I didn't even notice until I got to like the 4th member to Elite Four the first time around. Like, I noticed that Flint's was being a little annoying, but he wasn't like hard. But then when I got to the 4th member and I started battling against Tim, I noticed that my moves weren't doing as much damage as they should have been. Then again, I was using a level 60-ish Infernape with no actual like good EV spread, no hyper training or anything. So of course I was bound to start having some difficulties. And now we reach Bertha, the 2nd member who specializes in ground types. She's gonna be annoying. So using their X special here. And I forget what you do on turn 1. Oh, you just Earthquake me. Okay. As long as you don't try to yawn me, I'm good. And then I'll Energy Ball you to high heaven. Thank Lord Arceus, none of you have Sap Sipper on you. Oh hey, my star's level 54. Pseudo Widow, I think you have Sturdy. Would not be surprised if you do. And dang, my starter is just barely catching up to the Elite Four levels. Like, I think you're just as strong as Aaron. Whereas Cynthia's like Ace is like level 60 something, I think. Oh, did that Pseudo Widow not have Sturdy? Color me surprised. And this Wish Cash, I think it just ate one of those berries that reduces the power of ground type damage. But I have an X special attack up. Plus level 100, 4 times damage. You're not surviving this. And here's Golem. This guy is where the annoyance kicks in because he has Sturdy. I think he tried using yep, they're sturdy, and I think you try using rock polish on turn 1. Oh no, you just straight up attacked me. But now Bertha is gonna start spamming full restores on this thing. And then I'm just gonna knock it right back down to sturdy range again. Just watch this show repeat itself like 2 more times. Full restore again. Like, I thought they were supposed to save their full restores for their ace Pokemon, but instead she's just wasting on this Golem. And I lower the stats, that's pointless. 1 more full restore. Oh, and you actually let it go down this time. Thank you. And then here's your ace, Hippowdon. Oh yeah, and then for Aron, I think his ace was like supposed to be Drapion. Typically all their aces are like Sinnoh Pokemon. And that's Bertha down. Although before I continue, I want to heal up that damage I took from the Golem attack. Well, both Golem and Quagsire. And then we reach, remember, number 3, this is where things can become very scary and annoying if you're not prepared. Because he has some strats on him. Although this is where the major, like, the big differences in the Sinnoh Dex totals can begin to show up, because, like I mentioned, you see he has 5 Pokemon, right? And he's supposed to be the fire type elite, remember? And you might recognize this guy Flint from Sunyshore City in the last episode. So he starts with the battle with Rapidash, so it makes you think he has a bunch of fire types on him. But no, he's not going to have a bunch of fire types. And then what are you going to do? Oh, come on! You land Hypnosis. F you. Please tell me I bought some full restores or something. Max heals or something. Let's see, I see that, I see that. Ah, crap, did I not buy any of them? What about berries? Did I pick up any berries? No? Shice. Well, I'm just gonna hope for a quick turn wake up. There's my 1 turn of guaranteed sleep. Oh, great. You use Flame Charge, you're boosting your speed. Lovely. Ooh, did I get the 1 turn wake up? Sweet! Whew, lucky me. I was hoping, yeah, I was hoping that he would. I was really hoping that he would use Poison Jab on turn 1 instead of Hypnosis. I mean, come on, that thing has like 55% accuracy, and of course they land it. But yeah, 5 type. If I remember, what in the world are you doing with a Steelix, a Lopunny, and eventually you can? I think he's also going to see Drifloon, like, I mean, not Drifblim, the evolved form. Like, what are you doing with all these non-fire type Pokemon? Although the Steelix and Lopunny, they're not that threatening. What is threatening, though, is this upcoming Drifloon, because this thing can spam Minimize and then use Baton Pass. And if Drifbloom's like one of the last remaining Pokemon, the only thing he can switch out to via Baton Pass is his ace Pokemon, Infernape. So, yeah, if he switches that to that using Baton Pass and he has like a couple Minimizes stored up, your odds of hitting this thing are pretty much going to be non-existent. Oh yeah, remember that Focus Sash from that Star Raptor? And remember I mentioned competitive items? Yeah, this thing has a Focus Sash too. Although I think that was the thing from the original game. So the fact they kept it in was nice, but everything else on the other hand. Did you just burn me? Fudge muffins. That's gonna be annoying. And because his ace Pokemon survived an attack, he's gonna give this little speech here. That's what they usually do. And because it's the final Pokemon, he's gonna use a full restore here. But since he lost his Focus Sash, he should be going down here. I think they also gave it his hidden ability Iron Fist. I could be wrong there. Although the fact I got burned there from that flare. Wait, was that flare bits he used? Either way, or fire punch or something. The fact I got burned. I'm gonna be taking residual damage each turn now, but at least I'm a special attacker, so I don't have to worry about any. I don't have to worry about my special attack being dropped because that burn lowering it only lowers the attack stats. But that's Flint down now to the final member of the Elite Four. But I guess you guys get to see some little bit of entertainment. Although it's going to waste me a couple seconds having to see that burn animation every turn now. But at least there's only 2 more battles to go. And he starts off with a Mr. Mime, I believe. Yup. And this is where the major annoyances come in because this thing is bulky as hell. Want to make sure I use the right one. Because not only is this thing bulky in terms of his IVs and EVs, but also he has the filter ability which weakens the amount of damage he takes from super effective moves. And on top of that, I think he just set up a light screen, so yeah. Bulk City. But with that, on level 100, max EVs, IVs, use max X special attack, this thing should be going down. Yep, there we go. And then from here, I wouldn't say smooth sailing, but and then I have to use Dazzling Gleam here because I believe this has the Sap Sip ability. And on top of that, because he's Psychic Normal, Ghost has no effect on it because Ghost has no effect on normal types, which takes priority over the Psychic weakness. And I can save some of my power points by just going straight for another Dazzling Gleam on this Metacham. But unlike the other members of the Elite Four, Flint's essentially the only one who doesn't have enough fire types to match his team setup. Hey brother, what's up? Face Oblivion. And then his ace Pokemon should be coming up next, I believe. Oh hey, my star's level 56 now. And what level is your ace? What's the strongest member of the Elite Four ace Pokemon level? Whoa, 63? Oh dang, my star is way behind. And even though I didn't take any damage during the battle, I'm going to heal up anyway because I'm not sure. I forget how the percentage of what burn damage does every single turn. They have a strange habit of changing things around every single game or generation. So I don't take any risks on burn damage KOing me here because I'm going to be taking essentially 6 turns of burn damage on this final fight with Cynthia. Wait, not 6. Let's see, 5. Wait, maybe like 10 turns of burn damage. Because I'm going to be spamming a bunch of X items here on this first turn. Because here's a funny little strat here you can use against Cynthia. If you send in just a pure Psychic Tech Pokemon like Alakazam here, which is also a speedrun strat for the speedrunners who use Kadabra, who they got in a trade at the beginning of the game. I believe you can trade him a Chop for an Abra, although I forget where the NPC is if you do that trade. Although if you do it, then against Cynthia here you can pull off the cheekiest of strats imaginable. So let's start off with first next speed. boosting your speed by 2 stages. And then he's going to go for Sucker Punch, which is going to fail because I didn't attack. Then I use our second X speed. Boost my speed stats another 4 stages. He's going to Sucker Punch again. Going to fail. Yeah, because I'm pure Psychic type, he's just going to spam Sucker Punch over and over again. But I believe you have to be pure Psychic type to abuse this AI. If you're a part anything else, then he would use a different move. And now I'm just using 3 X special attacks to maximize my special attack stat. And I'm essentially just doing this to run out all 5 of his Sucker Punch power points. And here comes the last boost. There goes the last Sucker Punch. And now I can just go on the offensive and everything is going to just die in 1 hit. Screw your EVs and your IVs. Face the power of X specials. This is the only time I've probably ever used X specials in Pokemon game ever because I usually ignore these items. Then sends out Roserade. Wait, did I say he? I meant she. Have I been referring to Cynthia as a he this whole time? My apologies. And after Roserade, what do you send out next? Gastrodon. And then after this, I believe, comes my Milotic, which is probably one of her most like annoying Pokemon because like if you use a special attack on her, then Milotic is probably going to counter you with Mirror Coat, which makes you want to use physical attacks. But the thing is, if Milotic survives an attack, it can activate the Flame Orb, which activates the Marvel skill ability, which is going to boost Milotic's defense stat dramatically, which then makes you want to go back and use special attacks. But then it's probably then you can start using Mirror Coat on you, and then when it gets low on HP, it uses Recover. It can use Scald to burn you, which lowers your physical attacks, therefore making your attacks do even less physical damage. Like that Milotic it's a huge mess. It's probably one of the biggest walls in this champion battle. And once you get through all that, you think you're safe. Oh no, you have to face up against her Ace, her Garchomp, which has, I believe, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Swords Dance, I believe. But you can essentially just cheese the AI, like send in the Dragon type Pokemon. Her AI will then use a Dragon type move. Then you can send in maybe a Fairy Flying type Pokemon, like maybe like Togekiss or something, and then she'll try to use like Poison Jab on said Fairy. And then you switch out to maybe like a Steel type, which then has her forcing to use Earthquake. You go back to Flying type and whatnot. You just keep switching your Pokemon around to make her AI just waste a bunch of attacks and eventually just waste out all her power points. That's one way you can stall out her Garchomp if you have the time and patience to pull off that kind of strategy. But anyways, we just wow, that's actually a lot faster than I anticipated. I was expecting the Victory Road to take a lot longer, but I managed to get through it faster than I usually do. And then take down the Elite Four. I got here within like the 25-minute mark. Let me see the recording. Elite Four took me another like 25 minutes, give or take. Well, that's probably because animations were on. But in this particular instance, I like animations to be on because I actually want to see what the opponents are doing, so I know how to counter. Like, for example, against Flint and that Rapidash, if I didn't see the animation for Hypnosis, I wouldn't have known my Alakazam was put to sleep. Look at this Elite Four team champion. I have 2 Mons in here, and Alakazam and my starter Empoleon. So glorious. And now we have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond ending. And that's the end of this playthrough. I'm just gonna let the credits roll and all that stuff. But at this point, if you had a save file for Legends Arceus on that you've beaten the game on, and you got some like you caught Arceus in PLA, I believe once all the credits finish and you see and you're back in your bedroom in Twin Leaf Town, I believe that's when you can find a Pokeball lying around that allows you to pick up the Azure Flute. And if not, I think you might have to go through all the post-game stuff, which means you have to go to the post-game island, go up to the survival area to Stark Mountain, do that terrible co-op section with I forget his name, Buck or something, to get the Magma Stone. Then you go back to the survival area, go into his house. Essentially, Buck's grandfather tells him that he needs to return to said Magma Stone back to Stark Mountain because it feels like the volcano is about to erupt. So he does, and then once you go back to Stark Mountain, you can then find Heatran in the final room where you found the Magma Stone. And once you catch or defeat Heatran or whatever, that technically ends the post-game story, if you even want to call it a story. And once all that is done, you can then go back to Elite Four, and they'll have much higher level. You can technically after the crate you can go back to Elite Four and challenge them, and they already have higher level, more stronger teams and whatnot. And of course, they're all going to be EV trained, IV trained, with competitive natures and items on them. So, and of course, competitive movesets. So they're not going to be a walk in the park, and they become stronger even further after you finish the Heatran storyline. On top of that, you can also track down all the other legendaries in the game now. Like for example, I mentioned the Lake Trio in the previous episode. You can then go to the route south of Veilstone City. There will be a little extra path that has opened up, known as a spring path or something, on the right hand side of the route. If you follow all the way around, you'll reach the Turnback Cave. And if you manage to solve the puzzle there, you can find Giratina at the end. And if you knocked out the box art legendary like I did, you can return to Spear Pillar to battle them again, if you want to like shiny hunt them or something. Or just catch them in just terms of just if you failed the first time around. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, there's also one more roaming legendary. Like I mentioned, Mesprit earlier roams around the region rather than sitting in the cave and let you catch it. If you go back to Canyon Lake City, and you go to like the house in like the bottom left corner near the docks, you'll see this boy essentially sleeping in the bed who's apparently having nightmares. If you talk to the captain at the docks, he'll mention that his son's having nightmares and he wants you to help him do a favor to go to Full Moon Island to locate the Lunar Wing from Cresselia, which can wake up anyone who is having bad dreams, because apparently that boy's being affected by the mythical Pokemon Darkrai somehow. So you go to Full Moon Island, you find Cresselia in like a meadow up ahead. Cresselia then flees and just begins to roam around the region. So it's another roamer you have to deal with. But then you can just take. But then Cresselia is always female. Cresselia then leaves the Lunar Wing behind, and then you take it back to the captain. He wakes up his son. You finish off with that little side quest, but then you can just go chase Cresselia around the center region. Oh, the fun tip for the roamers in this game. In previous games, if you like encounter the Pokemon and then reset your game, they would flee the area and like they would not still be there. But in this game, let's say you like use like the tracker application on your Pokédex to track down the route to where Mesprit or Cresselia are, you can actually save your game right there. And the trick is usually to set up a repel so that the Pokemon on your team are higher level than the Pokemon in the area, but are still equal level to the legendary you're looking for. So then you're pretty much just guaranteed your encounter is always going to be against that legendary. And that's you can encounter them, but you can just save your game after you set all that up, and then you just run around the grass, and then you can like chuck a quick ball at it. And if you fail, you can just reset your game and repeat the process until you catch it. That's one way to deal with the Roman legendaries. It looks like we reached the end credits, or rather the end of the credits. The end. Now they're just going to reboot, And yeah, this is my. Thank you for watching my Pokemon Brilliant Diamond playthrough. If you guys enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell for more Pokemon content from me. And links down in the description to my social media, especially Patreon, if you can support me there. I'm just going to do a few more extra things here because there's usually some extra things you can unlock in post-game. I don't know why Mother was talking to me for a moment there. But one more thing you can... I'm going to fly here to Sandgem Town, I believe, because now that you're in post-game, you can unlock one more feature. You can go to your rival's house, which I believe is the one over here. Or rather, more specifically, your friendly rival, Don or Lucas, depending on what gender you play the game as. You can find their little sister. Or maybe not, researcher. You're not who I'm looking for, I believe. Unless you are. Nope, I don't think you're it. Okay, maybe wrong house. But essentially what I'm trying to do is unlock the Swarm feature, maybe it's this out here, in which a bunch of rare Pokemon can just like randomly spawn around the region. But once you talk to them, the feature then becomes unlocked in your... There we go. A lot of something. I didn't see that. I saw letters M-A. Is that Makuhita? Oh, Magnemite? Is that what it says? But anyways, yeah, now that you've talked to them, that feature becomes unlocked in your main menu, so you no longer have to... Because in the original game, you have to keep coming back here to talk to them, to unlock, to double check each day for your daily events, but now that we've done that, we no longer have to do that. Not to mention, I mean, it's not post-game unlocked, but as soon as you get, I'm saying the National Dex, you can return to a bunch of other areas in the game, like the Great Marsh has a bunch of National Dex Pokemon available, the Trophy Garden has a set list of Pokemon that goes in like National Dex order of Pokemon you can find there. The Pokeraider also lets you find National Dex Pokemon that you got when you completed the Sinnoh Dex. And a whole bunch of other stuff now on the post-game island. But there we go. Now I'm gonna officially end the episode. So yeah, I hope you guys really did enjoy. And well, guess I'll see you all next time. Take care.